everybody? Welcome to another episode of Town Hall Meeting with the Mayor. I am your host, Eugene Man Roberts. And first up, I want to bring to you my homeboy. We've been touring together for about 5 years. Amazing guitar player, singer, songwriter, my homeboy, Mr. Ben O'Neill.
Everybody. Like I said, I was going to have somebody amazing, and this guy's amazing. This is my brother right here. How long have we been touring together?
About 5 years.
Wow, about 5 years. And he doesn't know it, but he's always been a hometown hero because he's done a lot of legendary things in the city. And we're going to touch on that stuff in a minute. But I want to reintroduce again my brother, Ben O'Neill. Hello, brother.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate that.
No problem, man. What's going on? What you up to? You got the guitar in the hand. I know you're always doing something. What we up to?
Trying. Man, I've been doing a lot of recording, like a lot of us, you know what I mean? We're not out there playing, so I'm doing a lot of catalog music, a lot of commercial music, a few sessions for people here and there, and a lot of teaching as well. So that's just trying to keep it moving in this weird season.
So as far as teaching, have you had like a lot more people come to you wanting to learn, or has it been just, randoms?
It's interesting. I have had more people, and I think it's because people are home and they're like, oh, let me reconnect with guitar, or, I can't go do the normal thing that I would do.
Yeah, they have time.
Yeah. Yeah. So I definitely have some new students because of that, and it's been great. It's been fun, I think, and useful for everybody. I've actually been kind of surprised at how well the lessons work over Zoom or online. You know what I mean? But people get what they came for in terms of new knowledge and new inspiration, and that's something I love. So it's great.
Have you in teaching? Do you find yourself learning new things yourself?
Oh, man, man, don't tell anybody this, but that's actually the best thing about teaching is that you learn so much while you're doing it. Partly, even if it's something that you've done 100 times, you learn something new by having to explain it to somebody.
Because they're taking it in a different way. So rather than it being 1, 3, 4, it might be 1, 1, 5 for them. So.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The process is going to be, you need to find a different way to communicate it to different people. Yeah. And then usually I always tell students, and I'd encourage any teacher to do this. I always tell students, bring a question. And usually it's like pulling teeth to get them to ask a question. They're like, no, this is going to be a stupid question or whatever. And it's never a stupid question. It's always a good question. And it always gives us something new to learn. Right. So sometimes whatever they bring to the table takes me in a new direction too. So it's something that I've always loved. It's not just something that I'm doing because I can't play out right now.
Right. Yeah, and I know that. Yeah, you've always been a teacher as far as I know. Do you think with being home, it's allowing you to figure out how to structure your day different? Because like for me, I feel like I get done a lot when I'm home, and then when how it is, you're on the road, like lobby calls, when you off the road, you get up at 8:30 in the morning, you have coffee, you go for a walk, but then it's like you're on the road and you're getting to the next city at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., and you're waking up at like 2 p.m. I'm finding out how to better manage my time on a more consistent basis because, usually like I'm a workaholic. So I'm going to go hard because I know there's going to be a break because I need to fly, or how often I was flying back and forth to LA. Like that's 5 hours of no communication with people. So it's like, I got to go hard. So when I get on this flight, I know no one can be asking for anything crazy.
Right.
But now without that, like, it's been cool though, because I've been able to work a lot more because I now know what my day, what my week, what my,
Yeah.
I'm getting more acclimated. I was kind of thrown off in the beginning. I just thought like, oh, I could do everything. And it's just like, wait a minute.
Right. You still need balance. I mean, I think that's one of the hard things for a musician, period. Whether you're, we've spent so much time on the road over the years. But any kind of musician, like the schedule's just not normal. You don't do a 9 to 5, 5 days a week or something like that. I think that it takes a certain level of like practice and then discipline to figure out how this quarantine thing works so that we can stay productive and not get burnt out.
Yeah, that's been the thing for myself. I was like, listen, I feel like I'm on fire. Like I just got started and I'm just hungry. I'm on fire. Like I'm just like, I just got into this industry and I'm just like, when the world opens back up, I hope I can just stay right here. Like even doing the show, doing the videos, like all of that. I just want to make sure I can keep it going. I know I will. Like, cause like I said, I'm better learning how to maneuver my thoughts and like throughout my day. And this amount of stuff is for home. This amount of time is for music. This amount of time is for me being creative. This amount of time is towards someone else's creativity.
Yeah.
I just had to learn how to compartmentalize that. I think
it's what I do, this is so silly. It's so simple, but most days I have a to-do list and it has some stuff and it has like, my exercise. I'm big, you always see me leaving the hotel, getting a run or something. So, run is on there. Shed is on there, whatever. I got to teach this lesson and that lesson, that's on there. I got to do this session for so-and-so. And that way I just have like a concrete way of keeping track of stuff. Cause otherwise it's just kind of floating around.
I think I'm going to try that. Like I always like that. Nat does that. And I just be like, they're like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I'm like, I just go through my day,
Right.
But, yeah.
Well, look, as musicians, we're used to improvising like that. We're used to things being a little up in the air. But for me, it kind of takes some of the pressure off if I can just check something off the list and say, okay, that's been taken care of today.
I think, see, I'm a military brat though. So I've always had like a list of like things I had to do. And like the biggest part of that, and even with us touring, the biggest part of being a musician on a big stage, believe it or not, is memorizing the set list. Once the first like 6, 7 songs of the set, you actually kind of aren't as stressed. You kind of know what's coming at you. You kind of, it's just a thing, So I'm just good at memorizing things in an order of what I need to do. So between the set list and between like the military, iron your t-shirts. You got to have, on the back 2 creases, one across the top, 1 crease down the middle. Like, your bed had to be made a certain way. Like that whole thing. Like, I grew up semi in that a little bit. So that's how I'm kind of with structure. Like I've learned structure early in life, all right, this is a good question. What trade have you picked up while at home? What's like something new? Because everybody learns something new, whether it's video, whether it's reading more books, whether it's learning, how to put together new cabinets. I don't know.
Yo, somebody was just telling me about Irv building a new studio desk or something like that.
Irv.
Right. That's not even fair. But okay.
Deserved.
So listen, let me think about this. A new trade. Well, first of all, I'm an avid reader. I'm always reading, and that's what I do on most of those flights, honestly, which gives me a chance to really like move through material. When we're having a busy year, I'm doing a lot of reading because I'm on all these flights with you.
Right.
And so I was like, am I gonna even have the time to do that now? Because normally I just think of it as a travel thing, but I've still been able to do that. So I've been reading a lot of good stuff. I just reread The Souls of Black Folks by W.E.B. Du Bois, which is so relevant for the crazy time that we're in right now.
Yeah.
So it's given me a chance to revisit some stuff that I haven't read in a long time. One thing, I'll be honest, one thing that I tried to do, and I'm just on a break right now, don't judge me. I'm trying to learn French. When I was in high school, they made us take a foreign language, and I was a pretty good student in school, but French was just like, I was not any good at that. And ever since then, this is what happened. When I was 21, I went over to Paris with Music Soul Child. It was the first time I ever
Yeah.
went overseas. I went over to Paris and I saw this menu, you know, and I recognized like 3-4 words on it and nothing else. And I thought, what if I had just learned the freaking language when I had the chance?
And you would have impressed everyone.
Right. I would have totally won. So anyway, I've been working on that. I can't say that I'm not fluent yet. We still need give me till next time we go to Europe. Maybe I'll be okay.
Hold on, weren't you supposed to learn how to make soul food, or was that Corey?
I'll tell you what. I actually can make now. Well, okay. I make collard greens a lot. I make collard greens every week. I'm not saying it's like soul food collard greens.
Oh, but I can't forget who. I can't remember who it was. I don't know why I feel like it was you.
I think this is what we should do.
Talking about mac and cheese, though. I feel like we were talking about you learning how to make a good soul food dish that you can come to people's house and bring them.
Yeah. I would love to be able to do that.
Did we have that conversation?
Yes, absolutely. We had that conversation.
Okay, all right. So I'm not going crazy. We did.
No. Because I think it would be, I mean, honestly, everybody would be happy if good mac and cheese showed up, but it would be particularly fun if I showed up with killing mac and cheese.
Listen, because J.O. can't bring it. J.O. loves craft in the blue box. He has a bowl designated, too. Shout out to J.O. That's our monitor engineer. He's amazing.
Great monitor engineer.
He's standard.
Dang.
With some of the things he likes, like Kraft mac and cheese and mayo. You get where I'm going here. But so let's talk about some music, man. Like, you have your own projects and you have the mini Qs. You have, I mean, just give us the quick rundown real quick what you're doing with both.
Cool. I have an organ trio with my old friend Luke Carlos O'Reilly, a great keyboard player, and a great friend. Say what?
I said I got to get Luke on here too.
Oh man, I would love to see that episode. That would be great. Luke is such a good player and an old friend. And Anwar Marshall, who's just one of the best drummers I know. So we put a record out about a year ago, and we have another live EP that is. We just need to get it out. It's done. It's done. We just need to put it out. So Mini Q's Soul Organ Trio. I have an EP just under my name, Ben O'Neill, songwriter stuff that we're working on putting out. And actually, early in the quarantine, this is something I'm really proud of, but it's a little under the radar. You know, when this happened, we were like, what does this mean? You know, that there's a pandemic. We're fearing for our health, and all the tours got canceled, all that kind of stuff. So I did this. I did a solo project called Ungoverned Transformation. That's a collaboration with a bunch of photographers and a film company. So it's a whole visual album that is, I think, really, it's something I'm really happy about. I never sort of envisioned myself going in that direction, but we found ourselves in this weird place, and all of a sudden I was collaborating with photographers, which I'd never done before. So that's under my name as well. And you can find that on benoneal.bandcamp.com, and we're donating all the proceeds from that to Broad Street Ministries, which is a great homeless shelter in Philadelphia. And so your support of the arts is really your support of a good cause.
Well, people, we're going to drop the link for that. Make sure you tune in. We're going to share all Ben's socials and the mini Qs and all that.
My mac and cheese recipe.
We're going to talk about that sign behind you, because we need that. Make sure y'all vote. Vote.
Listen, I have a picture of you and me at a rehearsal. It was a midterm election or something like that, and we were getting ready for a tour, and it was like voting day. And we both separately, of course, we went and we voted and we got the stickers. And then we came to the rehearsal to do the rehearsal, whatever. And then you and me were sitting there with that.
Picture is?
What's that?
You know where that picture is?
Yeah, I have it on Instagram.
Okay, that picture. We're going to put that picture in. Joel, we have to drop that picture in right about now. All right, cool. Hopefully the pictures are there. Yeah, man, people got to vote. But before we get out of here, you teach a lot of people. You've worked with a lot of people. I got a question, and then I need you to give a piece of advice. One question is, I got two questions. Yeah, I got two questions.
I'm not in a rush, man. Go ahead.
I'm not in a rush either. I'm just thinking, because some people get questions, some people don't get questions. Sometimes it depends, but I never asked you this. What's one of your most memorable performances
Performances?
I give you 3, top 3. I'll make it easy on you, top 3.
Well, honestly, this is absolutely one of my most memorable performances are the first 2 shows that I did with you with John, because we were playing in front of huge festival crowds, and we had rehearsed as a band, but
that's when you learned.
Yeah, like John, he just comes in and nails it on stage. I've never seen anybody who was so good, honestly. And so that was a crazy experience to know that I was playing just a duo with me and John Legend in front of thousands and thousands of people for the first time the first time we ever performed it was in front of 10,000 people. So that's a crazy performance. But I will say that I have to go back to Ty Tribbett and GA because that was a life-changing experience. And we had so many rehearsals. I know you were at some of those. We had so many performances in churches up and down the Northeast here that were just so powerful. We just felt like we were in the middle of something just incredibly powerful. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I could pick out a couple. I remember one in Baltimore in particular that we did this one shout cut that they did. And that joint just blew the roof off of that church. And I mean, and I don't mean to, it was the Holy Ghost, you know what I mean? It was the Holy Ghost, but I had a number of performances with them that were just life-changing.
Stood in line, but didn't stand in line, but stood in line, but didn't stand in line. At Victory and at the TLA.
Yeah, I remember both of those shows.
I remember that.
So those are a couple of highlights.
All right. So who would you love to collaborate with?
Well, I want to finish the stuff that we're working on because what you bring to the table is beautiful and different for me. You know what I mean? That's one thing that I like about collaboration is sometimes you collaborate with people because you're like-minded, and sometimes you collaborate with people because they look at things very differently. You know what I mean? So anyway, who would I like to collaborate with? This is kind of funny, but I would love – so I played for Music Soul Child for about 4 years when I was younger, right? And I saw him sing a couple years – that was a long time ago. And I saw him sing maybe last summer, and he absolutely crushed his set, crushed it. Mm-hmm. And I would love to see him do a live record, sort of like the John and the Roots record, where a great band really brought, I would love the Mini Qs to back Music Soul Child because I think he's a great soul singer.
I think that would be crazy.
Right? Isn't that fun?
Yeah, because it's it's different because we know what he feels like singing certain things. Yeah. And actually, even in the more recent, he did a festival here in Philly, and I had put together a band. He brought his bass player, and I played Talkbox, and he was just like, "Yo, you do the verse." I was like, "Why would I do the verse?" I was like, "You know what? I will absolutely do the verse now that I think about it." Some of those moments are your Music Soul Child. When your album when Love came out, I was in high school. I just knew. I just knew every word. I just knew that. That was that. Neo Soul. I mean, you played for several of the greatest Neo Soul artists, though.
Thank you. I've been really fortunate with that. Yeah, played with Jill for 5 years. Played with music. Played with Bilal. Co-wrote a song with Bilal.
Viv, right?
Vivian Green for a couple years.
Did you play with
Jack?
Did you play with
Say
Jack?
what?
Did you play with Jack?
Only informally, only at the jam sessions,
Yeah. I'm trying to think who else. Did you play? You played with Flow Street before, right?
I backed up both of them at a couple times. I played with Erica.
Yeah, I mean, you played Neo Soul.
A lot of them. Yeah, I mean, I've been really, and well, of course, Common. I played with.
You can say the genre. You played the genre. You know, some people was like, "Hey, you play neo soul?" Yeah, I dabble and dabble. Like, no, you played some of the versions that people copy in open mics. Come on.
It's true. Well, look. So this is first of all, I'm grateful, right? But Philadelphia was just bubbling over at that moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, you were here. You know, like, and I was very fortunate. Look, I met Adam Blackstone at University of the Arts, and you know, he took me around to Ty Tribbett. He and those guys, you know, Thad had just gone on tour on that first Jill, maybe not the first Jill tour, but that Jill tour that we all know about, you know. Mm-hmm. And
you know, it's crazy. I talked to Eric Tribbett probably like 3 weeks, like literally 3 weeks ago. We were talking about that, how the whole them getting the gig, the whole how and why Thad started. But it was a random conversation. I don't know why or how. I don't know. We were just talking, and I actually just started asking them questions. But
well, it was an important time, and it was all interconnected. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like the church musicians and the jazz musicians, and you know, I mean, it changed our lives. You know.
Wow. You played neo soul.
That's gonna be my new bio on Instagram. Is
yeah.
I'm gonna quote you though. It's not gonna be me saying. I'm gonna quote you saying that.
Man quotes. Man quotes on Twitter. Check that out. We got some good ones, some weird ones, and some bad ones. I don't write them. I just figure out how they got there. But before we get out of here, I hate to say a piece of advice, but what's something that you feel you could say to some people to just, you know, for some empowerment? Because, you know, a lot of people really don't understand that, you know, being great at an instrument that's not an age. You know, there's someone 12 years old on YouTube that's killing every one of us, you know.
That's it.
What's that piece of, like, you know, I don't know, morale?
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, first of all, the music game is a roller coaster. So you gotta be resilient, you know, because you're not going to win every single day. And this pandemic is an example. And we're very fortunate. Here we are sitting, you know, I get to teach lessons and still play guitar. You have your studio set up. We still have work to do. But, you know, whole tours just disappeared. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the business is challenging. So you gotta try to stay resilient. And the way that I would recommend that is to try to be a decent person. I think that we focus on playing our instruments, or we focus on what the other person has going on, or we focus on how can I get on this gig, or how can I get a placement over there. And basically, if you're decent to people and you build good relationships, those people will be there to pick you up. You will gain experience as you go along that opens the next door for you. So I think in terms of making a living, in terms of a piece of advice for navigating music, yeah, practice your instrument. Yeah, listen to all those records. But also just try to be decent to people and learn from people. And that's going to open the doors for you.
So what's crazy is 99% of these episodes, we end up talking about relationships, which is the craziest thing, because you just said a lot in a small time as far as relationships. I always say, if you don't come out of this pandemic this time like winning or doing something good, that's because you didn't communicate, which means you don't have relationships. Like, that's just really what it is. We've been in this for 6 months now, you know, and it's like, come on now, you gotta communicate, you know. And then outside of that, you know, intentions are important, and leading with love. Like, you know me, I'm sure a lot of people always try to figure out, like, how am I never like a Grinch? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I just feel like, you know, anybody can be having a bad day. Like, you know, I just feel like, why not just have fun? Why not just be fun? You know, so I think just leading with love is really important, and just having good intentions. Like, my intentions, I just want everybody to win. I want everybody to just be great. You know me.
You know what? You see the people around, the people who gave us a hand up, right? The people who are, you know, 10 and 15, 20 years older than us, the people who were positive like that are usually still doing good stuff. You know what I mean? And the people who, you know, tried to push us aside or whatever are having a hard time, right? So to me, it's very simple. The better you are to the people around you, the better things go for you.
Yep. There's that. Well, people, this is Ben O'Neill. He loves coffee. He loves to jog. He's one of the most amazing guitar players. I mean, I don't know who's more perfect though. Like, you really aim to please as a musician. I you know, I never have anything to say.
Man, shut up. But listen, well, look, I take my job seriously. You know that, and
yeah, absolutely though. Thank you.
Hey, man, and I love working with you. And look at that stuff. I mean, I didn't come here to talk about my resume, but look at all that. You know, you say like, wow, that's really. I've been really blessed to play with all these people, and that doesn't come from just phoning it in. You know, you got to care to be able to get where you want to go. Just you got to care.
Be consistent. So, because again, you notice your name is in rooms before you get there.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
But I mean, I'm just saying in general, like, you know that we all know. I'm just talking about even just as a musician. Like, you know, like you having a resume means this person knows that you played with this person and that you played with this person and you have a good track record. Not that you got fired from this person and auditioned to get this person to do this. And like, it's just a different way. Just be, hey guys, lead with love, have good intentions, communicate. And like he said, don't be a bad person, be a good person.
Yeah, be a decent person. That's it.
Well, all right, we're going to get out of here. We're going to show y'all some content with Ben and some of the cool things he has going on. We're going to bring the whole band back. We should bring you, Luke, and NY. We can have more squares. We can have more people in here.
Let's do it.
That's what we're going to do. But in the meantime, we over and out. Ben O'Neill. Man, we out. Boom, boom, boom.
You remember that spring when the world was your toy? When you swore you were a man, but were only a boy. Well, you made it by grace to the shores of Troy, but in your heart was the hint that to create you'd have to destroy. Do you remember that summer you almost died? I guess it's normal for love and death to coincide. Well, you made it by grace with most of your height, but in your heart was a canyon created by rivers you cried. Rivers you cried.
Shout out to my bro Ben O'Neill. Next up, my sister. She's a multi-instrumentalist. She done toured the world with some of the greatest singer-songwriters. She's a producer. She's just a kind spirit. But give it up for Miss Brittani Washington. B, talk to the people.
And it's a vibe. I'm having a vibe with my sis. What's up with you? What you doing? What's going on?
I'm just over here chillaxing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What you working on? What you been working on? I've been seeing you post a bunch of coolness.
Man, I've been working on a lot of things actually. I'm about to put out an album.
Hey.
That's in the works. I've been working on my new merchandise, of course. I just wanted to have something that represents me and that will have longevity.
Yeah.
You won't be tired of wearing it. Been trying to keep my paper up, gigging, doing what I do.
Throughout being home at this time, are you finding yourself like collaborating more or just like building like relationships musically with people?
I find myself building relationships with other people musically. I'm such a loner. No one knows that about me, but now that the world has done some reverse psychology on me, like you have to stay to yourself. Now I'm wanting to get out more and like
yeah.
Now, and it's like, oh, you guys are complaining about being at home. This is my lifestyle. Like this is what I do. But I've been really meeting a lot of people and getting to like hear a lot of different genres of music with new artists. Yeah. Really cool.
What's something that's caught your ear? Like any new styles of music or any new artists or just
a new artist that's caught my ear is this artist Emmy Seacrest.
Oh yeah,
and the Brown Collective.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really, really love the vibe.
I love Brandon. Brandon's so
and
Stanley Randolph he's so good.
Man,
actually Emmy just sung background actually in a couple TV shows I did for John Legend actually.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Small world.
Yeah, Emmy, and then Carrie Lee, she's one of our BGVs with John. She lives in LA now. She's friends with Emmy. Like they're all from like Memphis and like cool like down south places, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. That's super cool. Yeah, her music vibes. It literally just dropped Friday, so you guys should.
Yeah, she's such a her personality. Like she's just a whole vibe.
She is.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to drop yours though. What's on your?
Oh man, I can't wait either. Like. We've been working so hard. It's getting mixed right now and just trying to like not put it together rushed because I have so many other things to do, but just like genuinely take my time with it. So
yeah, it's kind of like, you know, when I call it when the world was open, you know, like the touring is the hustle and bustle. Like it's like, it's how fast you can get things done. How fast can I learn this set? How fast can I memorize the set list? How fast can I get from my room to the lobby call? Like, you know, it's like everything is such a rush that when you kind of work on a project, you kind of want to not rush, but it's just in you to just, you just want it done. Even if it's done and it's sitting there waiting on your hard drive, but you want it done.
Yes, exactly. Well,
so being at home, I know I've picked up a couple new things. Have you picked up any new like trades or like traits or just like pieces of outlets of creativity?
I've always wanted to learn this song by Selena. So corny. It's called Kamala Floor, and I actually learned it for our Friday night gigs we have now at the DTP Cheesesteak in North Hollywood. We have this little gig outside, but I sang the song in Spanish. Actually, really was proud of myself for learning that song in Spanish. I have started, of course, the online store, but I do have a pop-up vintage resale shop that really kind of like takes things, lets me interact with the community, give me their things to sell. Oh, you might be into this, you might be into that. It's just hobbies like that. I've grown some kale, some carrots. Like, I've been doing some stuff, like.
Listen, I love it all. Listen what I'm saying. A lot of people, like, you know, you don't get to grow a garden on a tour bus. You know what I'm saying? You don't get to, it's certain things that, you know, outside of the health reasons, like, you know, I pray people's families are well, but a lot of us that, like, all we do is move all year round. Like, this is like that time where you literally, like, literally can almost live what we would call a normal life, I guess.
Yeah.
Per se, you know, like that. You wake up every morning, like, I go
Have a
for a walk in
routine.
the morning. Like, you know, you get up in the morning, you have a routine.
Yeah.
Like, it's not thrown off by lobby calls or a flight or a rehearsal or it's just kind of like you have a little more control. And like you said, we're even working on a project, realizing that, I can actually take my time too, because I'm not really in much of a rush. But,
Right.
it's just maximizing your time, Me, I've been getting better with just controlling my time, like compartmentalizing, like what, because
That's the biggest part.
It's like I want to cook all day. Let me cook. I just want to cook all day. But then it's like, no, I have to do music. Then I have to do family stuff. Then it's like this whole thing. I think I'm getting better at it, though.
Yeah,
I'm
we
just
all are.
plowing through work all day long. Like, it's kind of crazy. So I have a question.
Okay.
What's one of your most memorable performances? I'll give you 3. One can be you personal, because you're an artist yourself. So one for you, one for just life, and then one for just like, it was just so nostalgic.
Okay, the last one would definitely have to be me playing the North Sea Jazz Festival on the drums with CeeLo.
Yes.
Yeah.
You be multi-instrumental, you know what I'm saying, doing your thing.
Yes. The first one for me, as an artist, you said, or for me?
Well, both. Well, you as an artist, yes.
You said me as an artist. That would be this last show that I did featuring some of the songs that I'm about to release.
Mm-hmm.
Everything just vibed so well, and we recorded it and everyone loved it. I am an ambassador of the Privia keyboard, Casio keyboard, and so that was something that was featured in their commercials. I really had a good moment. That was good for me. Good life moment. It's still a show because I'm in show business. It's still in the entertainment section of my world. But when I first made Beyonce's band, like, I didn't give up about it. I wasn't feeling negative towards myself because no one had called me back in about 6 days from the audition. I didn't hear anything. And I was still in a good way, like I wasn't kind of like distraught that no one called me. I just felt like, that's weird. I really killed it. Right. To myself though, like I didn't say that out loud, like, but I wasn't really bothered by it as far as like, darn it, I can't believe that I didn't make it. I kind of forgot about it and was living my best life at the casino. I had a gig at the casino. And so, 7 days later, I got that phone call and it was something like, man, I'm excited. But you know how when you just start to run a race, that adrenaline, you got something to finish. That's what I felt like in that moment in time for myself.
So let's relive a little bit of that. What was the process? Was it the, oh my God, I want to tell my family, or was it like the, oh no, how many songs do I have to learn, or was it like
I'm such a weirdo. Honestly, I was on that gig at the casino with my older sister, and I was more so trying to see who's gonna play the keyboard for the rest of the shows because I'm about to bounce. Hey, it was like, man, a lot of organization at one time because I had to hurry up and drive from Louisiana to Houston, Texas, where I was living at the moment, to catch a flight. And so it was already 2:00 in the morning when they called me. And my flight left at 6:00 and I was in Louisiana. And so I drove from Louisiana to Houston.
So hold on. So you didn't have much of a notice?
No. No notice. It was all this, oh, you made it. Get your bags and come now. You already have a flight. Don't miss that flight. Like, and if you're from Houston, Texas, there's 2 airports, Intercontinental and there's Hobby.
Yep.
Hobby was closer to Louisiana. Intercontinental was another 40 minutes like out. And I was like, man, I made it. I barely made it, but I made it. So when I got there in New York, this was like my first time flying, my first show, my first concert. I'm from a small town, Port Arthur, Texas. We didn't get hit by the hurricane, y'all. Whoop, whoop. Won't he do it?
Won't he?
So yeah, man, I got there and I immediately vibed with the ladies that actually made the band.
Okay.
For some reason, like I didn't know them, but when I got off the plane into the same hotel, I kind of like, how you just gravitate towards people?
Yeah.
There was about 6 of us that had gravitated with each other, and it's 10 girls that were in the whole band. So I didn't even think about that. I remember Divinity, Nikki, Tia, Marcia was from Houston, Texas. She's the one that told me about the gig, but Kathy, all these girls I was just vibing with and sitting with the whole time, and we all made it.
Yeah, I think that's so crazy that, it's almost like a TV show, like how that whole thing went. Like,
yeah,
I don't think I've ever experienced that where it was just like, you got the gig, we need you to leave now.
Oh yeah, like, and leave your pony. I had like this raggedy weave ponytail in my head, and I thought it was cute. But whoever called me said, leave that ponytail at home. They got me.
That's funny. So fast forward to CeeLo. How did that come about?
I originally started playing keys for CeeLo.
Right. I feel like I remember that.
Yeah. And I started on my birthday. Actually, I started Beyonce on my birthday too. But I started on my birthday.
When is your birthday? I need to know that.
June 24th.
Okay, June 24th. Okay, because apparently that's a good time of the year.
For me, yeah. I started on my birthday, and it was a Prince tribute in London, and Mark Ronson was there, the guy who did that song for Bruno Mars.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They had the whole Prince tribute with his guitar and his stand and everything. But that was my first show. And then we did Rock in Rio. That was my last show with CeeLo on keys. The drummer for that show was Hannah Wellington, I believe. She was Prince's drummer when Prince was alive and doing shows. Rest in peace, Prince. But she ended up getting pregnant and having a baby for her husband. And I ended up playing the drums and I've been on the drums for like maybe 5 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's dope when you could just do not just a different gig on a different instrument, but the same gig on a different instrument. That's kind of like,
yeah. Oh man, it was so confusing though, because they were like starting off the show, I'm the keyboard player going on the drums. I'm like, who's supposed to start the show? And everybody's like, you.
My bad.
What's going on? Hey, we got to start from the top.
Yeah, I guess that is like that's a different thought process too. Like
it is. It kind of messes with you, but
That's my first instrument, like most. But yeah, I was like stone cold drummer for a long time, and then it was just like, yeah. Then it was like you start playing music, and you're like, you ever at a jam, and it's like they're looping the same 4 progressions for like an hour, and you'd be like, can we play a change? Can we?
Oh man, that's that I don't like.
Yeah,
like, oh, you're gonna play the same thing. I can't do it.
So then when it gets to like that.
well, what do you want us to play? I'm like, I don't know, something.
Something else.
Yeah, and I started picking out notes and root notes and bass notes and started playing keys, and then I kind of just started playing keys.
I have a good technique for that. Whatever you described, it's basically whatever genre you're playing, pick another genre that is just so off from it. Listen to that and then transcribe it the way you want to transcribe it in your own way. Because some people really don't know what to play. And then they are so used to playing like vibing to whatever their social groups are vibing to. But if you just listen to something like, listen to Jolene, and just do that. Make it hot, yo. Go ahead, play this.
I mean, I think that's just part of growth, though. I feel like us, those who have traveled, you know, we get to experience just different things. Like whether it's just like the coolest tune you've ever heard in an elevator, down to the funkiest house DJ you've ever heard in a hotel lobby.
Exactly.
A random opener in a different country. It's just like, I don't even know who this opener is, but I like them. Like,
right. It's a different sound.
Yeah, I mean, and you get to bring those different things to the table. So let's segue over to relationships and just how they work through the industry and kind of your insight on that. Some people don't. Some people relationships, like I said, a lot of people. I said this the other day. A lot of people right now, either you working or you're not, and it has nothing to do with the pandemic. It has to do with your relationships.
Yeah.
So that's why I said that. But go ahead.
I mean, relationships with there's a lot of relationships. You gotta get which ones you talking about.
No, the ones of, you know, just far as going through the industry, you have maybe you're friends with the production manager, or you have a.
Oh yeah, it's you know what? Yeah, you want to remember not to be an asshole to people. You know what I'm saying? When you're working, it don't matter what gig you are on, the highest paying gig, midway, or whatever money you took for the gig, it's good to have that accepting space to get the production done. And people respect that about you, and they want to work with you more because you make their jobs easier. No one wants to work with a diva. Like 9 times out of 10, whoever's headlining the show is a diva. So it's like, everybody, let's get in order, make this shit run like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
It's important. And when people know that you know how to come on your job, learn your material, do what you have to do, and go home. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's really all it is to it. Because, you know, just overall in the industry, like me, I've gotten hired in some of the most different ways possible, whether it's through the booking agent that suggested me to the management of this artist, or, you know, I've gotten a lot of my work has been artist to artist. Like literally the artist is like, yo, who's your MD? All right, cool. Who's your programmer? And you know, those relationships, you have to maintain them and keep them going. Because if not, like even me, even on breaks, like I'm avid. I'm the person that's like, hey, hope all is well, just checking in, you know, like, because that's out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm looking around for a phone charger because I'm like, oh, snap, I don't want this to go off anytime soon. No. But yeah, relationships are super important, yo. Like, literally, I don't have any agent or any, like, management. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People just, you know, they kind of, sorry for my really trying to get situated here. But people just kind of like, it's a family thing. It becomes a family thing.
Yeah.
And people start, you know, asking you, hey, like I did Black Girls Rock for 7 years. And the last year, I literally was trying to I was trying to do it, but I had already booked another gig.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, when I booked that gig, I didn't know the dates for Black Girls Rock.
Right.
but the producer called me, like people were calling me, and I felt mad love from that. Even though I didn't do it, I just felt like, man, I wasn't just the keyboard player there. That was my family.
Yeah.
So from the production manager, the stage manager, the production crew, like the truck people, the artists, the band, everybody. It's just important to like make those relationships and find out where you fit. You know, what's your.
I mean, because that is like a good feeling when you didn't mean to miss the event, but it's like, you know, life happens. Everybody understands.
Right.
You know, you didn't just last minute back out, but to still get calls and people to reach out like, hey, you know what?
Yeah, man.
We missed you. We missed you. Not saying that anything went crazy, but, you know, your energy was missed. And when your energy's missed, that's something that can't be replaced because, you know, money's going to be money.
Yeah.
Just because somebody's getting paid the same, more or less, doesn't mean that they're going to fit. Like, your energy is, you know, on stage, having great energy is awesome. We know that's a part of the gig, but am I going to tell you, am I going to go to the back of the bus whenever you come to the front of the bus? Because let me know is this art energy, because
gotta go.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And if people watching this, if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's because people like us are moving away from people like you.
Like you. Yeah, man. Like honestly, that whole experience, I was able to bless somebody else with a gig because of a relationship I had with them. Like I couldn't do that gig, so I got somebody else who was a keyboard player that I knew.
Right.
So it's good to network, and I'm realizing that now because I come from a small town, and then like I said, Beyonce was my first ever life experience, like my first flight, my first concert, my first time ever doing anything outside of the church. My mom and dad are pastors.
Hey, life.
Hey, so it's kind of like I had to learn like these relationships that I'm establishing with people. This is important. Like I'm such a loner, but I need to reach out.
Yeah.
Like, hey, are you okay? Are you good, man? Like, not just when I need a gig, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Because honestly, a lot of the gigs come mid-random conversation, honestly. Because a lot of people, and I had to learn this. I was wondering, like, how come I don't get calls sometimes? It's because most of the time people are like, oh, I assumed you were busy. Like,
yeah.
And just like you could say, well, how about you check and see if I'm busy? Same way as you know, calling and say, hey, what's going on? Like, you know, all right, cool. You know, I'm in the lab all week. If you need anything, just let me know.
I felt really lame and corny at first for just calling people out of the blue, but you never know who needs to be checked on.
Yeah, I mean, it is that.
Yeah. I just rather annoy somebody than to, like, not reach out to them and something's going on, you know, and I could have like just had a conversation, and I'm learning that, and I'm getting better at being like more conversational. Like it's something that I have to practice, but it's really important, you know.
I mean, it's pretty cool though. I'm a Gemini person, so I'm like
May?
Yes.
15th?
25th.
25th.
So I'm a person where I'm really private, I'm really quiet, but then I'm really like outgoing. You know, so I kind of go back and forth between the two because I'm all about energy. You know, like I like to make sure the energy is great. Like even just being a leader, being an MD, like I'm picking a band is great, but picking the great energy is greater, you know? So like the more, you know, like you said, you're getting into having more conversations and checking on people and reaching out, you know, you'll start getting different levels of creativity. You'll start just seeing things from different points of views, you know, just different. It's just different, you know, and I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy reaching out and checking on people. Like I enjoy just following people's journey. Like, I don't know. It's just pretty cool to me. Like it's because it's
You're
not
pretty cool.
yeah, I mean, I try to be, because by the end of the day, like, we are each other's hope. We're each other's energy. We're like, that's just really what it is, especially the climate in the world we live in. Like, when it comes to you being a woman in the music industry of color, you know, like, that's just not, like, I'm just a man in this industry of color, you know, like, it's just kind of like, you know, it's just, I don't know.
Hey man, it's another world.
I commend you for, like, you know, stepping out the box and wanting to talk to people.
Hey.
So outside of the record, what else are you working on? What can we expect? What are we looking into? What's going on?
Just more. I'm trying to, like, really push my business, Jack Pearl. It's a corporation. I have a cooking project that I'm working on as well. People don't know this, but I went to baking school. I really love to cook. It's one of the things that I don't really tell a lot of people, because I do a lot of stuff, and it might look like I'm losing control, but everything is operating as it should.
long as you got it in control, that's all that really matters.
Yeah, I'm working on a lot. I am trying to create jobs for people that I know that has not ever entered this corporate world.
Yeah.
Like, before I was a well, not before, but while I was a musician, I don't know how I did this. I was also a realtor. I was a commercial property manager. I was the morning news reporter for Fox 26 in Houston, Texas. Like, I did a lot of things. Like, I did that when I was interning as a student at Texas Southern University. So literally, I just really did a lot of things. And I feel like now my contribution to what's going on now to my people is to show them, hey man, you probably have been gigging all your life and this is what you do, but I want to help people, like, get into other things. Like, what's your passion outside of music? Because music is a big passion, but, you know, people have a lot of things that they like to do, but this is a big thing for me. So it kind of, like, overshadows everything else. But now, since we are in quarantine, it's given me an opportunity to do the things that I've always wanted to do. And some people haven't found those things yet, but that's why, like I said, that's where I want to help. Because I like to, like, dig deep and find out what people really like to do.
Yeah. So my view of that is, you know, when you do things for people, you do it based off pure intentions. Like, so you have pure intentions on helping people.
Yeah.
You know, and you're leading with love. Like, those are the two most important things you can do, especially when you're going into the mental of helping others. You know, a lot of people want to help people with ill intentions, you know, with the wanting things on the back end and different things like that. We get it, you know, it's a business. But one thing I've learned, and I'm literally a firm believer of it, like, leading with love and having pure intentions and really wanting to help people and help build them up. Like, that's the only way this whole world works, you know?
Man, it's the truth. It is the truth. I just feel like this whole pandemic, at first, I feel like if anybody felt like me, it felt like a cloud of what is going on. Like,
straight up.
What should I what? What should I do now? Like, okay, so should I make some major life moves, or should I just wait it out? Or, you know, it's a really confusing time. And if you sit down for too long, you might get stuck, you know, in a thought of how to move around. But, you know, I tell all my people, hey, let's just keep talking to each other. I have this thing on Friday nights. I play live music. I'm just keeping the same routines for myself. And I'm doing everything that I did for other people. I'm doing it for myself. So that's the kind of energy that I'm trying to, like, get out.
Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? Keep the same energy that you was doing for other people for yourself. Look in the mirror and say, I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it for me.
Yes.
Yeah. But before we get out of here, I just want to thank you because you know what? You always shake moves, and like I'm an internet watcher. Like I'm not as present as I think I could be, but that's because I just don't want to have to entertain it as much. You know.
I got you.
But I enjoy watching people like you, just because it's always something cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's like modeling, whether it's acting, whether it's playing a different instrument, whether it's like, so you play with this artist now, or you just did a live. Okay, all right. Like, it's cool. You know, some people are so predictable. Like, because I'm all over the place too, and I see somebody like you that's like, it makes sense to me. Yeah. You know, like you said, some people think you don't have a handle on it, but you have a handle on it. And I get it, because it's like a lot of people look at me like, when did you start that? Or how did, when listen, don't worry.
Don't sleep on me. Don't sleep on me.
I got control of what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? And I just tell people, hey, listen, you just maximize your 24 hours in the day, and I'll maximize mine. We all got the same amount of time in the day.
Yep.
So,
same.
But yeah, wow. Hey, people, this might be a part 2 because we you know, yeah. So y'all look out for some content because we're gonna post some and do some cool things. But we gotta get out of here, y'all. We gotta go. Big, say bye to the people. Say bye.
Bye, you guys. Thanks so much for having me on your show, man. I really appreciate it.
Have you ever been there before? When love just come knocking at your door, you don't know if to run or to stay, but you choose not to let it slip away. So hold on tight, don't let go. Hold on tight, don't let go, don't let go. Oh, oh. I know this life it can be hard, yeah, but you gotta finish what you started.
Shout out to my sis, Miss Washington. Thank you for joining me. Yeah, so let's go to rolling at home. Hashtag rolling at home. We about to get into this little segment right here because these people at home are just creating amazing content and decided to share it with us. So we want to share it with you. Here we go. Rolling at home.
Wasn't it you that said that I was all that and you said I didn't have a clue? Wasn't it you that said that I wouldn't make it through? Wasn't it you that said that I didn't look too good, that I wouldn't do too good, I never make it out the hood? Want you to know that I'm doing so good.
Shout out to those amazing creatives. So I know you sitting at home watching this like, oh, I want to get my videos on there. You can. And guess what? DM me. I want to put some of you guys on here too. I want to talk to some of you guys and see what you guys are working on, what you're doing. So in the meantime, hashtag rolling at home so we can find your videos and your amazing content so we can share it on here. In the meantime, we're gonna get out of here. Shout out to my homeboy Joel for everything he does. He's amazing. Shout out to Nelly. Shout out to Kristen, Brian. Shout out to Rolling. Shout out to Rolling Live Studios. Shout out to Carrie Brown. Shout out to everybody that helps this go by week at a time. Week by week by week by week. Episode after episode. But shout out to you all. Until the next time, Eugene Man Roberts, aka the Mayor. 808s while you wait with Rolling. Hey!